Okay, welcome. Today I want to talk about one estate planning document you can execute legally in the state of Wisconsin without even having witnesses or a notary present. So most of you know that to execute a will in the state of Wisconsin, you need to do it in front of two disinterested witnesses. But there are a few documents you can execute on your own, and the statutes do not require witnesses or a notary. So most people don't even know this, but today I was on a conference call with lawyers all over the country, a webinar discussing how to execute documents for our clients during the coronavirus pandemic. And one of the issues there is that a lot of the state statutes say for a will, someone needs to be within your conscious presence when you're signing the will to witness you. And generally it requires two witnesses, most states. Now, a few states have updated their statutes, and like Iowa, they were saying allows for video witnessing. But we're not there yet in Wisconsin. And so if it isn't in the statutes, we look at the case law. And you'll see behind me our example of law books. This is the Wisconsin Law Library, and that's where we get the case law from, past court decisions. So as of now, there's no court decisions, even across the country, very few, about executing a will via live video conference. Now, my guess is after this coronavirus pandemic, we may have some cases like that because some people may be desperate to execute a will, and if they're locked down in a nursing home, they may do it that way with a live video witnesses, and then it will go to, if it goes to litigation, we'll get some court guidance on whether that works. But the lawyers who have looked at the case law across the country on this conference call were saying we don't have a decision on that conscious presence definition. So anyway, it got me to thinking, what isn't it some estate planning documents folks could execute during this time from now until April 24th, at least here in Wisconsin, when we have this safer at home order. And one document you can execute is a Wisconsin power of attorney. So I've got the statutes here. It's Wisconsin Statute 244. And you can validly sign a power of attorney in the state of Wisconsin, sign and date it, and have it formed as of that date. So right here in the statutes, I'm going to go to 245.05, and it lists the requirements for execution of power of attorney. To execute a power of attorney, the principal, that's you, if you're the one making it, the principal must sign the power of attorney, or another individual in the principal's conscious presence and directed by the principal must sign the principal's name on the power of attorney. So what that means is, let's say you're getting older and you can't physically sign your name anymore, you can direct someone to sign it for you. So this or you're just unable to due to physical health. But with my older clients, I sometimes tell them if it's a problem signing, they can direct another person to sign for them. But in general, if you're watching this and you can do it at home, you could sign it yourself with your signature. But even if you can't physically sign, we have an option for that. So notice it just says you must sign the power of attorney to execute it. And I would recommend dating it as well. A signature of the principal on a power of attorney is presumed to be genuine if the principal makes an acknowledgement of the power of attorney before a notarial officer authorized under Chapter 140 to take acknowledgments. So that's the key there. Most of the time we notarize your signature after you sign a durable power of attorney for finances. However, it's not strictly required. So during this coronavirus pandemic, if you don't have one in place, you could execute and sign one at home and it would be totally valid. Now, the banks are used to seeing your signature notarized, so what I recommend is when the pandemic is over, you get your signature acknowledged in front of that notary. Or take advantage of the drive-through signing option at my office. You can watch my other video about that on my law firm page. But today I wanted to give folks some education. Information is power, right? On what you could do right now while you're in your home. So Wisconsin, Chapter 244, they even have a statutory power of attorney for finances, which is written by the legislature and free for anyone to download and sign. And you can go online and search for that, the Wisconsin Statutory Power of Attorney for Finances, and get a copy. Now, I recommend, if you're able, work with an attorney like me to draft a custom one, but the statutory one will work just fine. You're going to have to go through it on your own and fill it out. And there's blanks here where you just print it in, and I'm sorry this maybe isn't showing up so good on the background, but you print in your name and the name of your agent, and then you go through some check boxes. So that's why I normally recommend you work with an attorney to help you talk through those decisions. But if you're in an emergency or a rush, you can do this all on your own. And then you'll see on here, you can give special instructions, and at the end, it says your signature, date, your name printed, and then state of, county of, and that's for the notary if you sign it before a notary. But you don't have to do the notary part right now. So if you watch my other video, you know Wisconsin authorized remote notarization for certain documents, but they're not including estate planning documents like this power of attorney yet before a Wisconsin notary. So the state bar lawyers, we've discussed it, and right now these estate planning documents you don't want to do with that remote notarization, but it should work for deeds, real estate, contracts, other documents. However, to me it's still somewhat of an open question whether, if you were in this emergency, you could sign this power of attorney, it would be valid, and then have it notarized remotely by a notary license in another state. I think that could work, although the statute is saying they don't want you to do the remote notarization with a Wisconsin notary like me, but Virginia has had the remote notarization for a while. So anyway, there's an option there. I'm not sure if anyone has tried it yet, but in looking through the statutes, that occurs to me. But today's video, I just want to tell you about one step you could take today to execute and sign this power of attorney. And it's even free from the Wisconsin legislature. This one here is 14 pages you can print out and sign, and you would have a valid power of attorney, and that might give you some peace of mind. Now, the power of attorney is only effective while you're alive. I have some other videos on what a power of attorney does, but for today, it basically allows you to name an agent to take care of your financial affairs if you're ever incapacitated or unable to act. So it's a good idea for everyone to have one in place. And let's say you did get the virus and were trapped in a healthcare facility for a period of time, or on the ventilator like we're hearing about, folks. You could name a spouse, a child, a trusted friend or relative to be your agent during that time, pay your bills, and manage your affairs. Now you want to think through what powers you give to that agent. That's why I suggest you work with an attorney when you do this. But you can validly print this out and sign it and have a valid power of attorney in place today. And there you can see the seal of the state of Wisconsin. What I'm thinking is, okay, this is a measure you could take for the next couple of months, stopgap measure if you're trapped in your house. And then if things subside, as we hope they will, you could later go to the bank or come to my office and have that signature acknowledged before the notary public at a later time. Because if you'll notice here, it's an acknowledgement. So you can do that at a later date. So again, today's video, one document you can do today and have in place, which is part of in my office a complete estate planning package, and I'm going to do a series on this, but this is the first document you could sign today without witnesses or a notary required to be legally valid in the state of Wisconsin. So stay tuned for the next parts in this series. And one thing I wanted to mention is my new Facebook group just debuted a few days ago, Wisconsin Probate Trust Estates and Asset Protection Information Group. That's designed for videos like these, informative videos, information sharing, community resource, because like I said, knowledge is, like these books behind me, is power. So my goal with this group is to inform people, get it out to all of Wisconsin, and then people can collaborate and help each other in the group. And then if they have questions, they can post them in the group, and I'll try to answer them in Q&A legal videos, just like you've seen on my YouTube channel and other places. So if you want to join that group, I'm going to put a link in this post, and you can join the new group, and we'll see you there. And my plan is to post more of these videos in that group as we go forward, especially during the coronavirus pandemic over the next month or so. So if you want to see more of these, I'm going to move those videos to that group. So again, today, one document you can sign and have legally valid during the coronavirus pandemic is a Wisconsin statutory power of attorney for finances and property. So thanks for watching, stay well, and we'll see you next time.